When the beat drops, you know exactly what time it is. Hello and welcome to this very important episode of the Blitz, because if the Bucs don't win today, oh, buddy, you can kiss no playoff folks goodbye. I'm Evan Closky. This is David Schiele. And David, what do we got cooking today?
Unfortunately, we're talking about if this is the end of Todd Bowles. Could he be the next coach to get fired? We're also going to explain what the hot seat looks like for him. We're going to talk about fixing some of those red zone woes for the offense and how depleted this Bucs team is going to look because of injuries.
Yeah, so let's get started. This is the 10 and 10, the 10 most important topics you need to know entering this 4:05 matchup with the Panthers right here on 10 Tampa Bay. And 10 is an important number because that's how many losses Carolina has. The Panthers are 1-10 and have not beaten the Buccaneers inside Raymond James Stadium since 2017. The Bucs enter the week as 5-point favorites, but they're also a team not impressing anyone, losing 6 of their last 7 matchups. This is also a reunion for Baker Mayfield. He knows a lot of the guys on the other side of the ball. He started 7 games for the Panthers last season before getting benched and shipped out of town. He'll also have to battle another former #1 overall pick, David.
That's right. Baker was taken with the top spot in the 2018 draft. Bryce Young earned that honor this April and is having a rocky rookie season. The Alabama product ranks 27th in passing yards, 29th in completion percentage. He's got just 9 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. His lack of development is why this team had to make a big change this week, because at number 9, we're going to have to talk about Frank Reich getting fired. The man was canned after 11 games in town. To show you how shocking that is, get this. He lasted less time in Carolina than Urban Meyer did in Jacksonville. There are a lot of shuffled parts for the Panthers, but if you think this is a good thing for the Bucs, the players don't think that's the case.
Having been in that spot before, it's kind of everybody rallies around it. Honestly, it's one of those things that brings people together.
The NFL is different, but you've seen it a lot this year in college, where an interim coach steps in or a new coach steps in, and it's a different type of energy. So, and they have nothing to lose.
At number 8, Todd Bowles might be next. He is squarely on the hot seat after a 3-1 start to the season. They've only won once since the Week 5 bye week. And they're only in the playoff hunt because the NFC South is so bad. He's 12-16 with Tampa Bay, including a playoff loss. He went 24-40 in New York. The defense is disastrous. A lot is working against him right now. And let me say this about Bowles. I sympathize with the fact about how he got this job. Tom Brady unretired. As a result, Bruce Arians stepped down. Bowles was hired with zero ability to change his staff. Year 1, he was completely handcuffed. So year 2 is really the first time he's been able to run the team his way. And for the past handful of weeks, we've had to hear this time and time again.
We did practice well. We got to bring it to the game on Sunday. We understand how hard we fought, but we keep making small things, small mistakes that cost us ball games. We didn't play good fundamental or technique, and we busted some things that's everyday practice. We know we can fight again. It's the details and the assignments that we got to cut out. We can't work any harder. We work hard as anybody in the league, if not more. We've seen things 1,000 times at this point.
Look, when you hear about effort and practice, that's never a good sign. When you continually have coverage busts, players not doing the right thing, folding in big moments, that's on the coach. At some point, Bowles has to ask himself why this is happening. The players have yet to prove they can correct any of their mistakes. And if the Buccaneers lose as favorites at home to a 1-10 team that just fired their head coach, who is also dealing with injuries, I think the Glazers will do something they've never done before, and that's fire a coach in the middle of the year, David.
Yeah, and if they lose, all bets are off. And at number 7, it's going to be the battle of defenses today. Despite the Panthers being an awful team, their defense is actually solid. Even with 10 losses, they rank 6th in yards given up per game and 4th in passing yards allowed per game. But here's the biggie. They only have 7 takeaways. That ranks last in the NFL. They also have just 18 sacks. Only the Chicago Bears have less. Now, will a struggling offense succeed versus that defense? The Bucs rank 27th in the red zone. The 19.3 points per game is only a marginal increase from 18.4 last season. That's when everyone, us included, was complaining about Byron Leftwich. This right here, unacceptable. Last 7 games, 9 turnovers. Dave Canales has to be sick about this because his #1 rule, Evan, protect the football.
Yeah, you're right. And we have to protect James Yarko at all costs. James is joining us now for our Locked On Bucs burning question of the week. And James, the Bucs might have a couple of more wins if they were better in the red zone. So how do they go about fixing these issues?
Well, I mean, if it was easy, then Dave Canales would have already had the answer. But what I think the Buccaneers need to start focusing on doing inside that red zone is stick to your money guys, right? Mike Evans is always open in the red zone. In fact, over the course of his career on targets, when the Buccaneers are inside the 10-yard line, he has 43 receptions and 42 touchdowns. So Mike Evans in the end zone is always a mismatch. But what they need to do is start getting a little more creative in the layers in which these guys are running routes. You can't have everybody within 5 yards. At the same time, you can't have everybody going into the end zone. So they need to stagger some of these a little bit so that you can create space for K-Dot and a Rachaad White close to the line of scrimmage. You have Chris Godwin going over the middle and being able to create space and maybe get in on a catch and run. And then Mike Evans on those fade patterns, on those post patterns inside the end zone. Even when he's double teamed, he's still a big enough mismatch that he's going to create opportunities and make highlight reel catches to score points.
Thank you so much, James. Well, it would have been nice to have a guy like Rob Gronkowski back on the team. He would solve a lot of these issues.
Yeah, he would, but he ain't walking back through the door, so let's focus in on another 87, Payne Durham. Look at this catch, man. How about that catch? Give him 99 overall and mad because of that. Fun fact, he wears 87 because he grew up idolizing Gronkowski.
Well, Gronk caught wind of this and on social media sent him some love, saying he was actually his idol. And Gronk, we're going to just let that spelling of idol pass. But then, you know, Payne Durham caught a little bit of this.
That's it? Just
a little salute, man, and
That's
a heart.
Your idol. Bro, you saw 20% of snaps last week. Your role could be expanding. You got to do more than a salute and a heart, though. But keep an eye on number 87. At number 6, you know Mike Evans is just 2 scores away from tying Gronk for the 12th most touchdown catches in NFL history. His 9 TD grabs rank 2nd in the league. Only Tyreek Hill has more. He is also 150 yards from reaching the 1,000-yard mark for the 10th straight season. Last year, he popped off for 207 against the Panthers at home, so don't count him out hitting that number today. Of course, it helps having a guy like Chris Godwin to distract defenses as well. Godwin has been dealing with a neck injury. It flared up again in the middle of the week. It might explain why he only has 154 yards the past 4 weeks, Evan.
Yeah, I don't like seeing that. At number 5, the Bucs rushing attack getting better, maybe? They still rank dead last in the league at 3.4 yards per carry, but Rachaad White is coming off one of his best games, toting the rock 15 times for 100 yards. That includes a rare explosive for 38 yards, the longest of his career. Besides the Titans game, the averages have been a vast improvement since the Buffalo Bills contest in Week 8. I'm not going to go into a whole film breakdown, David, but Cody Mauch is a future stud on this offensive line. He needs to get his weight up. He better be eating at Chipotle all offseason, but he's looking like a great draft pick from Jason Light.
And honestly, Light might have crushed this entire draft in general. Yaya Diaby, he ranks 2nd in sacks for rookies. Him plus Kalijah Kancey. Oh, these dudes gonna be a problem in the trenches for years to come.
You ain't
Better
kidding.
believe that. Speaking of Kancey, at number 4, it was Kalijah earning Defensive Rookie of the Month honors. It's just the 6th time that's ever happened, joining the likes of Levante David, Noah Spence, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Devin White, who did it twice. Kancey essentially missed 4 games to start his career and still leads all rookies with 8 tackles for loss. He's also 5th in pressures. The Pitt product, that's a game record.
Since we got him, we knew how tough he is. We knew his pedigree, good high school, you know, him and Levante David.
I definitely was surprised. I kind of found out like right after practice. It's not something that I was looking forward to. I didn't like put it on my goals or anything like that. I just went out there and played football, and it came to me.
At number 3, Kancey is going to need a huge game today because if the defensive line does not get after Bryce Young, it could be game over with the Bucs down their 2 starting linebackers. Young has been sacked 40 times this season. That ranks 2nd behind Sam Howell of Washington. The Bucs crushed Will Levis. They didn't do so hot against C.J. Stroud. Would imagine Bowles will blitz heavily while playing man press coverage, David.
And since you mentioned the linebackers, let's check out our sideline segment where we take a look at the injury report. It's gotten really bad for Tampa Bay. Levante David and Devin White, both out. Jamel Dean, out. Mike Green, out. Servassier Dennis, sick all week. KJ Britt and JJ Russell might be the two linebackers getting the majority of the snaps today. Luckily for the Bucs, the Panthers do not run the ball well. Now you factor in Chris Godwin, and yeah, this is less than ideal.
Don't like to see that, but we do like to see this. At number one, the all-important My Cause, My Cleats game for the players. This is the NFL likes to say this is where the guys like to wear their heart on their feet. Players have the opportunity to pick a cause that is important to them and represent their chosen organization on custom-designed cleats. We could be here all morning going through each player's amazing philanthropic passions, but we want to spotlight Schiele Barrett.
My first foundation is 50/50 Foundation. Is centered around helping foster families and partner up with foster organizations. And then Array of Hope is named after my daughter. And we are working with gate companies who install gates for pools, and then we just got to just make sure people is aware and think that it can happen to them and just don't want to be that person. So always make sure dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
Man, that's amazing stuff. You can see Shaq and the rest of his teammates on 10 Tampa Bay today at 4:05. It is the only CBS game on the slate. Then for our Blitz picks record, I picked the Colts. David picked the Bucs, so I am back ahead of him in the standings. I like that 7-5 record. Winners go first, and I think this is going to be a really ugly game. If you're someone who likes to bet green Skittles, I'm going under. I think the Bucs can generate just enough sacks on Bryce to keep them at bay. I'm going Bucs 17-13, David.
I think there will be just a little bit more points in this game. I know there's Panthers fans that think this is the perfect opportunity to cause chaos in Tampa Bay, but I think the Bucs are just a little bit too desperate to lose this game, so I'm going to have them winning 27-21.
All right, we both got the dubs. Well, that's another episode of the Blitz in the books. Next week, I'm giving this dirty bird the show to himself against Atlanta. I'm going to be in Vegas enjoying my bachelor party, so let's hope I have a good time. That's David Schiele. I'm Evan Closky. This is the Blitz. Same time, same place next weekend. Stick around, more Bright Side coming up after the break.